Good evening, fellow hunters. Welcome back to part 27, episode 26 of my Monster Hunter World playthrough. Now, as you can probably tell here by the fact that my commentary seems a bit desynced from the actual video, this is actually a post-com since I forgot to hit record. Yeah, well, I didn't forget to hit record. I forgot to plug the XLR microphone into the Focusrite, so my microphone was offline. So this is going to be post-com, unfortunately, but hopefully I should have remembered everything I wanted to say and maybe add to a few things. So in today's part, we are going to be not continuing on with the story. We're going to be fighting a beast that we kind of left behind even before high rank started. And I'm searching down here just to attempt to introduce you to the new beast, but it's not here. So yeah, this is a beast that you can fight all the way back in low rank, even introduced in the very later stages. Somewhat around when you fight Zora Magdaros for the second time before you enter the Elder's Recess. I think it's after the Rathalos and Diablos parts when you fight them. But this is a new beast and you'll see it in a second here what we're going to be fighting. Yep, that's it. A Kirin. The Elder Dragon that's a little... That's so rarely cited, that little is known of the ecology. Yes, I read that off the wiki. But this is sort of the Forgotten Elder Dragon. But there is a reason why I decided not to fight it as of yet. Because this thing, for a low rank mission, is insanely tough. Being an Elder Dragon, you kind of expect that, but seriously, this thing is very, very tough, and if you're unprepared, it can... You will have... Trust me, you will have no chance against it. It is very strong, deceptively strong even. Kirin is, as you can imagine, an electric unicorn. Isn't it pretty? Well, it's also pretty deadly. As you can see, it is one of the few beasts in the game, monsters in the game that use area of effect attacks as well as physical attacks, but more emphasis on area of effect attacks even. It's lightning. As you can see that it attacks with lightning on random bursts of lightning all the way across the battlefield. And these things hit very hard and they can be very unpredictable in where they strike. So I would definitely recommend using weapons that are more lighter, such as a longsword here, which is what I'm using, or an insect glaive. I'm using an Iron Grace. I finally got a chance to use it. Really, because it works decently well, because while this thing's biggest weakness is fire at 3, water and ice do okay against it as well. My Palico has the Anja Bone Hammer, so I'm hoping Midna can be a secret weapon for this fight. And as you can see there, Midna did quite a bit of work. So, if you can predict where its lightning patterns are going to strike, and some of its area of effect attacks take a long time to... The animation takes a long time. You can position yourself and attack it as soon as it's immobilized and it's not doing anything. So. But so other than being just very fast, it hops all the way across the battlefield, so it's difficult to hit. Its area of effect attacks are not only powerful but unpredictable as well. It also has, being an Elder Dragon, it also has an Elder ability. So for example, this one, for example for Kirin rather, it electrifies its body, and there's a subtle difference here. There's a subtle difference, rather, to its body. That when it becomes electrified, its arm becomes hardened. All of your attacks bounce off of it. Your attacks do very little damage, and its only breakable point is its horn. Its only severable part, which makes it even more of a nuisance to take out. Being low rank, it doesn't have as much health as something we've been coming across recently, such as the Uragan, the Levasioth, the Asia Rathalos, and the Gigante. I've got a mount on it here, which is pretty good. Any damage you can get against this thing is great, because the way it's designed, it's not meant to get hit, but it's very defensive. So I definitely recommend bringing fire weapons to this fight. They're very useful indeed, and of course armor with high electric resist. And as far as story goes, this is why I suggested that. I've got it down here, which is pretty good, so just roll on it. It doesn't have too much health, so you can get a good combo off like that. It doesn't take too long before it runs away. And I'd also recommend, if you can, bring a weapon with Elder Seal, Because what Elder Seal does, when the Elder Dragons use their specific Elder ability, such as the Kirin here, where its body becomes electrified, toughens its defense. It's Elder Seal. What it does is it reduces the gauge or the effect of it happening. I hope that's somewhat true to any Monster Hunter World veteran who probably knows how that works. But I like to imagine that's somewhere along the lines. Anyway, I'm just messing around changing my equipment because I want the glider mantle, because I want to fly up to its nest, to the nest where Legiana usually is. I believe that in Kirin particular specific missions, rather, usual monsters that roam the Coral Highlands, such as the Titsuyaku, the Paolumu, the Legiana, they all disappear. It's just you versus the Elder Dragon, and I say it's very fitting when going up against the Kirin. And in fact, it's just hopped up to the coral reefs here, not Legiana's usual resting place. So nest rather. So it's where I'd usually cut, but it's not too short of a trip. And apparently Kirin is. It's not already spotted us. Excuse me, I'm watching this without headphones, so couldn't tell the. Well, I should, because the bar goes red. Just doesn't matter. Now it has. So this isn't a bad area to fight it, because you can use the glider mantle and try and get some mounts on it. Which is probably which again is a great way, reliable way, sort of semi-reliable way of getting damage on it. Try using a sleep toad there, because the only two ailments that somewhat work on it are sleep and blast. It either resists or is hardly affected at all by any ailments. I don't usually talk about ailments, but considering how potent a threat and understated of a threat Kirin is, I figured it would be appropriate to talk about blights. I never really remember those, so that's why I don't talk about them for other monsters. Anyway, it likes to charge at you here and just run the blast around, so just be careful with that. Again, lighter weapon helps. You're going to be doing a lot of dodging and weaving, so I'd recommend stocking up on a nice meal, plenty of stamina. And this is what you'll be likely doing for this fight if you don't want to get hit, that is. If you have pretty good lightning defense, you won't get hit. And as you can see, that I'm wearing Uragan armor with upgrades, and that still did that much with electric resist. Well, actually, I'm wearing Dodogama pants, so it's on trousers in the UK. So probably not the best of compliments here. But as you can see, it's probably its most deadliest, or rather, I keep saying that word too often. Most dangerous area of effect attacks are probably where it takes the longest to charge up with it, and its hitbox is usually larger. It's usually just in front of the Kirin, I find, or the side. So those are ones you really want to watch out for, but they have the longest cooldown, so if you can predict them and get out of the way, then you can get some damage off Kirin. And here I just try to show that, once again, it's immune to stun, you know. I'm just trying to avoid it really, because when it's Elder Seal state, I don't have Elder Seal weapons with me. I have the Iron Grace. Finally got a chance to use it. I don't have Elder Seal weapons on me, so like when its body is it becomes buffed by the power of its Elder abilities. It just repels your attacks, and you can barely do any damage to it. So there's not much you can do other than just attack its horn and pray you don't get hit. So, oh no, probably other ways too. I'm just going about it if you're not a professional, you know. And the tip of the spire up here is a good place to fight Kirin, because there are these geysers here and you can use the glider mantle to try and potentially get some mounts on it. Of course, there is a risk, of course, without the Ghillie Mantle, which is essentially a free heal. If you can, save free heal anyway, because flash bots don't work. Obviously, it takes away from that, but given that this thing's only a low rank and I'm well protected by my armor, it shouldn't be too bad. And this thing doesn't have too much health, so just what I recommend is dodge and weave when you have to, and just try to position yourself at the front of it. When you do, try and break its horn, sever it. Does the most damage. And this is what I'm talking about here. It's one of his animations where you can take advantage of it if you position yourself correctly. You can knock it off its feet. If you're a bit lucky. The Core Orchestra can be a big help here, particularly in this fight, as this thing can paralyze you, which is really annoying. One of the deadliest things about the Kirin. Thankfully, its physical trotting attacks don't do that much damage, even though, well, I say that I have Ugan protection, and I've fought likes of Nagigante at level 8, so, maybe I'm one to talk, but it doesn't do too much damage either, so its physical attacks aren't bad, except for, that horn jab. It relies on its area effective attacks, which are still very potent and can be a pain to dodge. That was a great attempt at trying to get around on it. And just another comment, I really like the way this thing moves. Capcom really did their homework on how a real-life unicorn, would move similar to, a horse. So I think it's pretty obvious, but still, nonetheless, I thought I should bring it up. So that horn jab there, as you saw, has easy to avoid and has a fair bit of cooldown. So. And this too is sideways area of effect lightning strike. Couldn't decide if I wanted it to sound cool or technical. But that's another good wave. That's another attack that leaves him fairly vulnerable. Finally getting off some decent damage. Thankfully, thanks to Core Orchestra, I do have the random buff gave me anti-paralysis, so it's definitely coming handy. And I managed to knock it off there, even when its body is intensified with lightning. So it's pretty good. It's really all you can do against it, really. Unless you have Elder Seal weapons, of course. I'm not sure what. Yeah, I was just trying to prove that. Oh, flash doesn't work on it. I think I missed anyway. But yeah, so not much else to say at this point. I mean, I really like optional bosses like this. Kirin is one of those unassuming, elder dragons that's really sighted. Which is a nice change of pace. Pretty cool to see. And I mean, it's got a great design, and sure, a lot of bronies out there, or people that just use unicorns. I can't believe I brought bronies into this conversation. Oh, good. Try to mount it there. And I just really appreciate it as a boss in general. Just an optional boss. can't seem to get my mount right there. I didn't even know if I had that, and here I almost get completely wrecked because, yeah, that can happen. Kirin could get a string of 2 lightning bolts together, and you could be dead. That's just how powerful it is. It's just how unpredictable it is. It almost finished me there. You do not want to get hit by this. At the same time, you can get big hits off of it if you time it right. Because I've mastered the art of hitting monsters with the tip of my sword from behind. Don't know how. I'm not sure what I'm doing there. Paralysis obviously doesn't work on it. And once again I miss when it's just walking, you know, majestically. Don't know how I did that. But, yeah, fun fact actually, what I meant to say is, I've never actually beaten this thing in high rank, which gives you an idea of what kind of monster player, you know, I was on console version, you know, with just PlayStation 4 30 FPS. I did beat it on low rank, but I've even lost to it with playing with a friend, yeah, it's, I don't like to talk about that, but just shows you how deceptively strong and unpredictable this Kirin really is, and not to be taken lightly at all. It's pretty ridiculous that it comes right after Rathalos and Diablos, and that's why I recommend at least till you're high rank, till you take this thing on. Preferably when you've beaten Gigante, just because you can get some powerful Elder Seal weapons. It means, it does mean fighting Gigante again, who is definitely much harder than a Kirin, that's for sure. But that will definitely change. This thing will be slain on high rank. Let's pull my Glider Mantle in. I should have Whetstone then Glider Mantle, but oh well. Oh, just get a bit too technical about these things. Because I'm sure the pros, any pro out there watching this, will be laughing in my face right now. I'm not sure why I didn't use my Spirit Blade there. Once again, I completely miss when this thing's just majestically walking proud like a unicorn, you know, and I'm missing. Thankfully, I got another knockdown and I didn't charge my spirit. Did not take advantage of it there. Well, thankfully, it appears to be limping, so that's the advantage of fighting this thing on low rank. Low rank 5 is that its health isn't too high. And when it's wounded or showing signs of weakness, it does like to trot up here to the Legiana's usual nest. I'm just waiting for it to come up. Come on. Come on, come and sleep when I'm clearly... Come and sleep over here when I'm clearly in your line of sight. And once again, it's an Elder Dragon, so just in case you didn't know, you cannot capture it. Elder Dragons are They're just unable to be captured, so it is the same mission. So large barrel bombs, very reliable way of dealing some big damage, as I do here. So, drink break. I can't do this in usual recordings. See, barrel bombs there only did like 80 to it. Placed right next to it. But we broke its horn, which is pretty decent. You can see I got hit there, and that's having force monsters that are easily like 2 levels above this thing, at least. So, and with much higher defense than you would have fighting the Rathalos or Diablos at this point of the story. It's electrified now, so it is very dangerous indeed. Dangerous indeed. Still don't know what resuscitate does. Not for real, but so thankfully I actually get a chance to use a potion there. So that attack right there, that is one you definitely want to avoid. That will do probably the most damage of any of its, or at least up there with, you know, its highest damaging area of effect, lightning strikes. And so, as you can imagine, the more you whittle this thing's health down, the more unpredictable and rapid these lightning attacks get. And it's, as you can see, I'm predicting correct. I'm just not positioning myself right, you know. It's just important, you know, to actually get your attacks off. And here it's making me dance around like a bit of an idiot, but it's okay, because it's okay. We're overly prepared, as I'd like to imagine. You probably could make do with fighting this thing without even getting close to No Gigante, but I definitely recommend waiting for high rank, or at least level 5 weapons, you know, or just electric resist. You know, you might, if you're really good just at the game, you might be able to manage after just, you know, receiving the quest. Thankfully, I'm only getting hit by its kicks and physical attacks, kicks and jabs, which still, you know, it's a giant unicorn, so it still should be hurting a lot. But oh, well, that's game logic. You know, got it down again here, which is pretty nice. I think this should be it. Nope, not quite. But as someone who's struggled against Kirins in the past, that was indeed very satisfying. You know, just to see a full combo get off hitting its weak points, you know. You know, so. Kirin, you are a magnificent optional boss, but I'm sorry I had to end this way. No choice but to slay you there. So that is one dead Kirin. So yeah, the Kirin, it's very fast. It's deceptively strong with its area of effect. Lightning strikes that are unpredictable and hit you hard. It runs around a lot, meaning it's very hard to get close. It only has one breakable spot, and it has the power of the Elders, which increases its defense and makes pretty much all of your attacks, just blocks all your attacks, just make them fly off. And its only breakable point is its horn. So position yourself when you can, if you can, but when dodging its lightning strikes. Using a light weapon helps. Elder Seal weapons, and arm with some nice high defense and electric resist as well, particularly important. But if you have a lot of dexterity and you can position yourself well, break its horn up. If you have just meet the criteria above, should I say? It's not that bad. You should be able to beat it. It's certainly no No Gigante, that's for sure. So not a bad completion time, and Kirin actually makes, although this is a low rank, so it's not going to be that good. Kirin make for some really good armor, like particularly high rank. This thing has some really great abilities, some nice resistances. You know, Thunder, Dragon, which will come in handy for sure. And that's it. That's the optional boss, Kirin. So yeah, this is where I believe I sign off. And then I just get distracted by just a beautiful landscape, just admiring the artistry of this game and what Capcom did. Just the fact that you can see all the way out to where Legiana like to fly down for its nests. You'll see it here in a second. There we go. You can see it flying down. The scope of it is just magnificent. So anyway, that's going to be it for this part. Thank you very much for watching, fellow hunters. We're not going to be continuing the story, once again teasing you. We're going to be fighting a new optional boss. So take care, and I shall see you all again very soon in the next hunt. Farewell.